The city that never sleeps, sometimes called the capital of the world, is the most busiest and populous city in America. Without a doubt, it's constantly changing with today's population of almost 9 million people compared to only 1 million in 1860. From the disappearance of payphones to the rent's rise, we'll be looking at 5 ways New York has drastically changed throughout the years, especially in the past decade. Manhattan Skyline. Manhattan Skyline has extremely changed since 9/11. For almost half a 20th century, Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world. Today's numerous additions, including Hudson Yards, New World Trade Center Complex, One Vanderbilt, have changed the Big Apple's architecture and skyline forever. Before 2004, Manhattan was home to 28 skyscrapers that are 230 meters and taller. Today, with 19 proposed, 15 under construction, and additional 13 have been built, in total 47 more giants will surround the city in the future. Everybody mentions this dramatic skyline change, some people positively, but as well some negatively. While millionaires are buying these high-rise homes and enjoying breathtaking views, citizens down below are shadowed by huge things, as Linda Sennett says. Number 2. Crime rate. New York was once a very dangerous and dark city to live in. Following Immigration Act of '65, hundreds of thousands of blacks and Puerto Ricans were moving in, due to which whites moved to suburbs, leaving jobs and shutting down entire industries. Blue-collar neighborhoods became centers of drugs and crime. Today's Times Square looks like Disneyland and is a popular tourist attraction, but in the 70s was the area of prostitutes and pimps. If you ever watched Taxi Driver by Martin Scorsese set in the 70s dirty dark streets of Manhattan, you know what I mean. Times Square was the largest district of adult businesses during the golden age of pornography. Imagine walking your kid down the street back then surrounded by hundreds of 18-plus film titles. In South Bronx, people burned down their own properties in order to collect their insurance value. Boys were drinking city's water from fire hydrant. Car thieves were a norm. In conclusion, 70s New York would make an excellent location for the next Grand Theft Auto title. Over 1,500 murders were reported each year throughout the 70s and 80s, hitting all-time high in 1990 with 2,245 murders. The decline of murders accelerated dramatically during 2 terms of Mayor Rudolph Giuliani and Mayor Michael Bloomberg's 3 terms. Back in the day, even police sometimes avoided walking through dark streets in the night, but today's city has become a much safer place, and with that, some would ironically say how the city has lost its soul. Population. Significant population gain has been recorded of 630,000 people between 2010 and 2020, which is 7.7% increase. It's the second largest population growth in the past 9 decades. With so many people, housing prices are becoming more expensive and housing construction has reached its highest levels. Throughout its history, New York has been a major point of entry for immigrants, with today about 37% of the city's population being foreign-born. By the end of the 19th century and in the early 20th century, major immigration was from Europe. Looking at 40s New York ethnic makeup, 92% of people were non-Hispanic whites. Instead, it was resulted by laws restricting immigration from Asia and Africa and giving preference to Northern and Western Europeans, meaning that whites were only welcomed and preferred to be citizens. Passage of Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 allowed non-European people from other parts of the world to live in America, which formed today's more racially diverse demographics of New York City. Renting prices. New York has always been expensive, but recently the rents have skyrocketed, making the city an unaffordable place to live. It's not unusual to see people finding roommates to split the price. The 2020 fair market rent for a 2-bedroom apartment was $1,309, which is up to 94% and 79% since 2000. In 1970s, the median rent apartment was $111, which is today $656. 2020 renting price has doubled compared to one in the 70s. New York City is now the most expensive rental market in the nation, surpassing San Francisco. Last but not least, the future of New York City. Without a doubt, the population would surpass 9 million by 2050. But there could be few problems the city will face. New York is slowly rebounding from the economic devastation following coronavirus pandemic, but the unstoppable climate change will cause rising sea levels. Sea level could rise around 5 feet by 2100 at a cost of billions of dollars in lost property and assets. New York is just one of many cities around the world that will face the same problem. Probably Venice in Italy is the most famous example of the sinking cities. So those were the 5 ways New York has changed over the years. The 5th change is just on its way. Will New York build a wall to stop the ocean?
We're going to build a wall.
Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're Catholic, Merry Christmas, have a nice holidays, and see ya.